It was, though, a very different scene in Beijing, with a display of military might to mark National Day in Tiananmen Square. President Xi Jinping setting the stage with a rousing speech declaring no force can stop China and the Chinese people from progressing. But Mr. Xi also emphasized the need to grow peacefully and openly. Now, for more on this, Dr. Oh Sun was at the parade in Beijing today, and he joins us now. He's a senior fellow at the Singapore Institute of International Affairs, and he's got some thoughts and insights on today's top story. Now, Dr. Oh, you were there at the parade. How would you describe the display of firepower by China?
Well, number one, of course, it's a display of tremendous military might with the latest so-called Dongfeng 41 intercontinental ballistic missile, which can reach almost every corner of the earth. But on the other hand, of course, they also showcase China's civil society achievements over the last 7 decades, with a lot of this what we will call float of these vehicles modified into tremendous displays and so on. So overall, I think it's a very carefully orchestrated balance between, on the one hand, to show off China's strength, and on the other hand, to signal that it does have the power to exude peace and development. Yeah.
Dr. Oh, arguably weapons developers and perhaps those in the military in the United States, the Pentagon, would have been really scrutinizing those pictures of what was on display. Do you think that it was a direct message to the United States as well?
Of course. I mean, now that the two superpowers are locked in some sort of trade war, and as you mentioned just now, almost escalating into a financial war as well. So, ultimately, countries are sort of basing their strength on the military might. So, yeah, of course, it's a clear signal to the United States that China is ready to engage if it comes to that. Yeah.
Now, one of the biggest pieces of hardware was the Dongfeng intercontinental ballistic missile, which, as we understand, can actually reach the U.S. That would have raised a few eyebrows over there, wouldn't it?
Indeed. Of course, I'm a bit curious as to, there are also all these interceptor missiles, which I'm sure the U.S. would deploy in Guam, as well as other Pacific islands. Would those interceptor missiles be able to stop the Dongfeng 41? So that remains to be seen. I think in days to come, you have military experts analyzing those. Yeah.
Dr. Oh, it was a stunning array of hardware, military hardware that we saw on display. Based on what you saw coming out from its arsenal, do you think the United States, though, arguably might still be the superior military power in this region? Do you think that gap may have narrowed a bit today?
Well, the United States, of course, is by far still the much superior military power. We are talking about the United States having an excess of 10,000 nuclear warheads, for example. China, I think we are talking about, let's say, 800 to 1,000 nuclear warheads. So it's a vastly different number. And of course, the U.S. And to a lesser extent, Russia, well, they have been sort of not using, but they have been practicing on their various missiles capabilities over the years. And China is still quite low-key in terms of doing that. Yeah.
Dr. Oh, thank you very much for your perspectives on this. We've been speaking there with Dr. Oh Sun. He's Senior Fellow at the Singapore Institute of International Affairs.